Hello everyone, welcome to Miss Lee's class. Today we're going to learn about negative exponent. Alright, in the previous lesson we learned that when you have division, when you divide power, you subtract, right? So here you have 5 to the power of 4 and 5 to the power of 6, and you subtract 4 minus 6. That becomes negative 2. So what's 5 to the power of negative 2? Any idea? It's not 5 squared. It is 5 to the power of negative 2. So I want you to think about it. And we're going to do this one to get some hints. To find out what 5 to the power of negative 2 is. Alright, if you see 2 cubed, what is 2 cubed? That is 8. What is 2 squared? That is 4. So at every step, you divide both sides by 2. So every step, 8 becomes 4, 4 becomes 2. And what is 2 to the power of 0? That is 1. So everyone remember this. Something to the power of 0 is always 1. Okay, so 2 to the power of 0 is 1. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. And what's 2 to the power of negative 1? You divide the number by 2 again, and it becomes 1 over 2 in fraction, or 0.5. Right, again, 2 to the power of negative 2 is, you divide it again. What's 1 over 2 divided by 2? So everyone, when you divide a fraction, you should change 2 to 2 over 1. Change it to a fraction. And then multiply and switch. It becomes 1 over 4. Or 1 over 2 squared. Right? So the answer is 1 over 4 or 1 over 2 squared. Next one, we're going to divide this by 2 again. Right then, 1 over 4 divided by 2 over 1 is 1 over 4 times 1 over 2. That becomes 1 over 8. 4 times 2 is 8, or 1 over 2 cubed. So here, do you see any patterns here? So when you have 2 to the power of negative 2, it becomes 1 over 2 squared. When you have 2 to the power of negative 3, it becomes 1 over 2 cubed. When you have 2 to the power of negative 1, it is 1 over 2. 1 is hiding here. When there is no exponent, that means 1, there's a hidden 1. Any pattern do you guys see? And we are going to do the next one to find patterns. Alright, at every step, here, this time you divide by one number. 3. Okay, 27 divided by 3 is 9. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And 3 divided by 3 becomes 1. And 1 divided by 3 becomes 1 over 3. Again, divided by 3, it becomes 1 over 3 squared, or 1 over 9. And 1 over 3 cubed. So at every step, you divide the number by 3. And you get this number. And 10. So 10, at every step you divide the number by 10. So 10 cubed is 1,000. 10 squared is 100. 10 to the power of 1 is 10. So every step you divide number by 10. 1 over 10. 1 over 10 squared. And 1 over 10 cubed. So do you see the pattern? the negative exponent. To make negative exponent, you flip the number and change the negative sign positive. Alright? You flip the base. You have 3. You're going to flip it. It becomes 1 over 3. And you have 3. You flip it. It becomes 1 over 3. And you change the exponent positive. Okay? You should remember this. So flip the base and change the exponent positive. Alright, then here we have 5 to the power of negative 2. So we have a base here. We're going to flip the base and change the exponent positive. It's basically 1 over 5 squared, that is 1 over 25. So remember, flip the base. So I want you to write it down here. Flip the base, change the exponent positive. So this is how you solve negative exponent. All right? Okay. But there is a special pattern for power of 10. I want you to look at this. Here we have exponent 3. So 3 as an exponent. And when you have 3, that means you have 3 zeros. So this is special pattern for power of 10. Special pattern for power of 10. So when you have 2, that means 2 as an exponent, that means you have 2 zeros. 1, 1 0. And 0, 0 0. And negative 1, that means you have 1 decimal place. Negative 2, that means you have 2 decimal place. Right? If you convert this to a decimal, it becomes like this. And when you have 3, negative 3, that means you have 3 decimal places. Right? So here, power of 10. Number, the exponent is number of zeros. So it's a positive exponent. If it is positive exponent, then that is same as number of 0. And the negative exponent, that is number of decimal places. So remember those two things. So power of 10 is really special. So positive exponent is same as the number of zeros, and negative exponent same as the number of decimal places. All right? Here. So when writing out power of 10, the exponent tells us how many zeros are after the 1. Okay, I want you to look at example 1. Evaluate 1 to the power of negative 1. So let's flip the base. Base is 1. If you flip the base, it becomes 1 over 1, which is just 1, right? 1 over 1 to the power of 3 is just 1. So that is just 1. And next, evaluate 3 to the power of negative 2. So you flip the base, which is 3. So 1 over 3. And you make the exponent positive. So negative 2 becomes 2. So 1 over 3 squared. That is 1 over 9. Next. Negative 3 to the power of 2. So everyone, you have to remember when you have exponent and base, so the exponent always applies to the base directly in front of it. So 2 applies only 3 because only 3 is directly in front of 2, not negative sign. So therefore, we don't repeat the negative sign. So just write negative sign once, and that is same as 3 times 3 because it says repeat multiplying the base twice. So negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. So remember everyone, this one are not the same. So when you have negative exponent, that doesn't mean that you have negative number. So you have negative exponent, but you got positive number, right? But when you have negative number in front of a power, you only repeat the number. You only repeat the number directly in front of the exponent. So repeat 3 twice. So negative sign will still be there. So it will be negative 3 times 3 and negative 9. So you should be able to solve those two problems. All right, next. So we can also write a general rule for negative exponents. Here, everyone. So A is the base. So we flip the base and make the exponent positive, right? Negative m becomes m, and this is actually same as 1 to the power of m and a to the power of m, but 1 to the power of m is just 1, so we write it like 1 over a to the power of m. So remember, a to the power of negative m is 1 to the power of a to the power of 1 over a to the power of m. Next, this one. So we have b over a. We flip the base and make the exponent positive. Okay? Flip the base and make the exponent positive. That's what you have to do. Next. I want you to look at the next one. I have negative exponent in the top and in the bottom. In this case, everyone, when you have negative exponent in the fraction, what you do is change the location. So flip is actually same as change the location. Changing location means you move a to the power of negative m to the bottom because it has a negative exponent, so you move it to the bottom. So it is a to the power of positive m. So you just change the location. And b, move it to the top. So that is b to the power of n. Okay, what if you have, for example, positive exponent in the top and negative exponent in the bottom? In that case, you don't touch the positive exponent. You don't move the positive exponent. You just leave it there. And you just need to change the location of the negative exponent to the top. That is b to the power of n over 1. Okay? So if it is a positive, you just leave it there. You don't touch it. The answer will be a to the power of m times b to the power of n. Over 1 is nothing. So you just omit it. Okay? All right. Next problems. Okay, everyone, I want you to try this by yourself. So we said we have to flip the base. Let's flip the base. How would you flip 1 over 4? That becomes 4 over 1. And make the exponent positive. 2. Positive 2. And always, everyone, do not leave the power like this. You have to simplify it. 4 to the power of 2 because 1 to the power of 2 is always 1. So 4 to the power of 2. What is 4 squared? 4 squared becomes 16. Alright everyone, I want you to try other questions and I'm going to go over it together. Okay, go ahead. Alright, did you guys pause the video and try those questions? Let's go over it together. So I have 2 as a base, and let's flip the base, 1 over 2 to the power of positive 3. Flip the base and make the exponent positive. Then everyone, 1 squared, 2 squared. 1 squared is, 1 cubed and 2 cubed. 1 cubed is always 1. And what is 2 cubed? That is 1 over 8. Alright? Next. So I said when you have negative exponent, you have to change the location. So you're going to move this 2 here. That becomes x squared. And you're going to change the location and make the exponent positive. X to the power of 5. Now we have x to the power of 5 divided by x to the power of 2. Then you can use exponent laws to solve this problem. That becomes x cubed. Right here, I have positive exponent and negative exponent. So you don't have to touch this. It's not a negative exponent. It has a positive exponent. So it's just leave it here. And what you're going to do is you're going to change the location of the negative exponent. So move it to the top. Then that becomes a squared, positive 2 over 1. And that is a squared and b cubed. Next, again, we're only going to change the location of the negative exponent. You don't touch this. This doesn't have negative exponent. Okay, 5 is here, and you're going to change the location of the negative exponent. 3 squared over 1. That becomes 3 squared times 5. So 9 times 5 becomes 45. Flip the base, 3 over 2, and make the exponent positive. Squared becomes 3 squared, 2 squared, 9 over 4. Again, everyone, here, just leave it. You're just going to leave it, and you're going to change the location of the negative exponent. It is 2 cubed. Then 1 times 2 cubed is 8. Flip the base, y over 2x squared. You're not done. You have to count the items inside the bracket, and you're going to expand. You're going to distribute y squared, 2 squared, and x squared. And that is y squared over 4x squared. Alright everyone, that is it for this lesson. And I want to introduce this really cool song for you. It's called Exponent Rule Song. I'm going to include the link here. I want you to click the link and I want you to listen to this song. It's awesome. Okay? Thanks for watching everyone.